down 49 points. The Nasdaq down 46. Johnson & Johnson is slashing 3,000 jobs over the next 2 years from its struggling medical devices unit. That's about 6% of that division's workforce. Homebuilder confidence holding steady in January. Builders are forecasting modest growth in housing for the year ahead. But bad news for daily fantasy sports websites FanDuel and DraftKings. The Texas Attorney General, joining colleagues in Nevada, New York, and Illinois, has determined that the sites are essentially illegal gambling operations under current Texas state law. An estimated 2 million Texans paid to play on those sites just last year. I'm Tom Busby, CNBC Radio.
There are times being a genius would really come in handy.
This is Houston. Your oxygen levels will be depleted unless you put the valve modulator into the auxiliary gauge after you have calibrated the flexternal matrix, not the external matrix. Do not touch that one.
I'm just the cook.
But thankfully, you don't need to be a genius to do your own taxes. Because with TurboTax, you can snap a photo of your W-2 with your smartphone, and it will automatically put your information into all the right forms. Intuit TurboTax. Taxes done smarter.
If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish and see what real value is. Call 877-249-6988. You can also save a bundle when you combine DishNet high-speed internet with your TV service. Call 877-249-6988. Programming starting as little as $29.99, plus access to thousands of movies and TV shows. Stream to your TV, smartphone, or tablet. Call 877-249-6988. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get Dish today.
Hey guys, Pat Matthews here to tell you about the newest and best way to sell products online. It's buysellmakeoffer.com, an enormously revolutionary way to sell your stuff online. It's time to clean out the garage, your old golf clubs, sports equipment, tools, and yes, even your car. Forget about the way the other guys have taken more than their share from you when the sales were finalized. Look, it's happened to me over and over and over. Then I found buysellmakeoffer.com. They will never charge you item fees. Just go there right now to sign up and load all your stuff to our server to sell. This is not an auction site. Sell your car, sell your home. Realtor, sign up now. Just use our resources along with Skype and videos, then add your creativity to sell your items quickly and with no fees. Go right now to buysellmakeoffer.com and sign up. The excitement is building. I've signed up to sell my stuff with buysellmakeoffer.com. You should too. buysellmakeoffer.com.
Good afternoon. It's 12:03. I'm Di Rice with the latest in live, local, national, and international news here on Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. One of the Americans freed from an Iranian prison over the weekend says he feels blessed the U.S. government did so much to free him.
I feel very lucky. Like I said, I feel alive for the first time. It's like being born again. And I just really feel proud to be an American.
Former U.S. Marine Amir Hekmati spoke from a U.S. military base in Germany today, and he said he didn't feel relieved until the plane he and two other freed Americans were on left Iranian airspace. Asked how it was, he replied, "It was not good being a prisoner." He'll say more about that at a later date. Hekmati added that he was surprised by his release as he had accepted the fact that he'd spent 10 years in prison. And here at home, 6 days after the nearly $1.6 billion Powerball drawing, the person who purchased a winning ticket at a Chino Hills 7-Eleven has yet to come forward. That's according to lottery officials. A ticket worth $638,000 that was purchased in Redlands and hit 5 of 6 numbers in January in that 13th drawing. The same drawing has been submitted to the California Lottery, but it has not been verified just yet. Inland Empire weather, sunny for the most part, some clouds out there. There is still a very, very slight chance of some showers. Highs of 67 today, lows of 49. Right now, 63 in San Bernardino. And checking out your drive through Moreno Valley, the off-ramp is blocked on the 60 westbound at Heacock Street, and that is due to a stalled vehicle. And in Redlands, the off-ramp is blocked at the 10 eastbound California Street, and that is due to a 3-vehicle crash there on the off-ramp. And that is the very latest. This report has been brought to you by Del Taco. Try the new chicken rollers on the Buck and Under menu at Del Taco. Ranch, Chipotle, or Original for only $1 each. The Buck and Under menu, up to 16 options. That's unfreshing believable. And that is the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind. Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
For us to be able to share that.
It was time to get serious.
Intentionality, people. Celebrate the success.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
This is your show, America.
If I knew at 22 what I know now, our life would be better off.
It's the show that's changing the world. Now you don't just listen to the show, you live it. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is your show. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Maria starts off this hour in Scottsdale, Arizona. Hey, Maria, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, Dave. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, I have a few rental properties, and they make a better return on investment than my IRA. And last year I said to myself, if my IRA is, again, roughly the same amount, I'm going to call Dave and ask him about taking my IRA money and getting another property.
Okay. How much is in it, in the IRA?
It's 115.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 47.
Okay. Well, you can't take the money straight out and do that. You'll pay taxes and penalty, and so you won't have, right. Half the money will go to the government. That won't work. What you can do if you want to, how many rentals do you own now?
I have 4.
Okay.
And they... one, I'm going to just talk about 3 because one my mom is using for her own. So 3 that I'm renting out and managing, and they net roughly $16,000 a year.
And you obviously enjoy that or don't mind doing it?
I don't mind doing it. Knock on wood, I've had great tenants for the last 10, 15 years, and I've had good luck with it.
Cool. Okay. Well, what you can do, and you have to be very, very precise in how you do it, you can roll that money into a self-directed IRA. That self-directed IRA can then buy the piece of real estate.
Oh, is that right?
Yep. And then, but here's what has to be done. Here's the difficult part. That all sounds really good. You're going to pay cash. Yeah. You have to pay cash for the property. And so you have to buy a property less than or equal to the amount of money in there. But then here's the deal. All of the rents minus the expenses stay in that IRA. You don't get to touch them. It's like it's trapped in there until you turn 59 and a half and start taking money out of your IRA. You follow me?
Okay, I do follow, yep.
So you can't mix these accounts. You have to have a separate operating account for that property, and it's almost like you're operating it for someone else, and you can't touch the money. You following me?
Okay. I am following you, but if the return is better, I'd rather do that.
Exactly. You're now managing it for yourself in your future, but don't commingle those funds. You'll disqualify it. You'll get penalized 6 ways from Sunday.
Okay.
You'll have them auditing you for years.
Okay.
So,
well, each of my properties are in their own little LLC, so I'm not going to plan on commingling anything.
Okay. So it would almost be like that, except that if those properties make a bunch of money and there's a bunch of money sitting in that LLC, you can pull that money out of there. You've already paid taxes on it, and you can move it over into your personal and do something with it if you wanted to. You cannot do that here.
Okay. Until until 59 and a half.
Exactly. And at that point, any money you pull out of your IRA, just as if it were in mutual funds, you're going to pay taxes but no penalty. And so what I would do is continue to operate it and just let it build. You're not going to need the money. You see what I'm saying? Just like I wouldn't cash out my IRA at 59 and a half unless I had to.
Oh, right, exactly right. I have no plans. I mean, they're nice little money makers for me, so I'll just leave it. I'll keep these properties as long as I can.
That's what I mean. And so your IRA is just going to build up because you're not going to use any of it. In this case, it just happens to be in a piece of real estate. So what you need to do is investigate finding a self-directed IRA that allows real estate. And there'll be a company that sets that up. You'll pay them an annual fee for managing the IRA, and you can research those online. Actually, one of our endorsed local providers may be able to direct you towards one. But
okay.
I do not recommend this for people. If those of you out there listening, though, if you haven't managed real estate for a long time and aren't really comfortable with it, Maria has a track record of having managed her own rental property well. And she does not, I can tell by talking to her, she does not need the money out of this property today, and so she can afford to do this way. And that's why I'm saying it would work for you. Some people it will not work for. You know, you don't have a proven track record managing real estate, you can get yourself in a mess moving your dadgum money over into real estate. You know?
Yeah.
This thing, it could really turn into a nightmare. But for you, I think it's going to work because you've got all the right attributes for this to be a wise or a thing to consider, at least. Robin is with us in Birmingham, Alabama. Hi, Robin. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you taking my call.
Sure.
I wanted to see if you could help me with some parental advice to a son that is 28 years old that is sitting with a paid-for house. He just got a brand-new job making $20 an hour and working toward an HVAC contractor's license. So he is definitely on the right track, finally. And, you know, I haven't been the best in managing my money. So I was wondering if you could give me some advice and some tools that he could use in planning. And he's also just recently married and had a baby. So he's got a lot going on.
Good for him.
And I know he's doing great, and I'm so excited.
How did he end up with a paid-for house?
He had a really bad accident, or was in a really bad accident back in 2010, I believe it was, and he bought a house from his settlement. So I was very proud of him, and I get emotional talking about it.
Sure. Well, he made a good decision with the money, it sounds like. Good.
He did.
Okay.
And I want him to continue.
Okay.
So I'm sorry.
That's okay. Well, I mean, the answer is multifaceted. It's more than just say there's not just one thing you do, obviously. I mean, it's the things we talk about here on the air all the time that are going to be smart to do. Let me do this. I'll send him a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover. You give Kelly his address, and I'll send it to him. That's the step-by-step plan on what to do when you're handling money. Obviously, you're on a written budget. You're working your way out of debt. You're building your emergency fund. You got the house paid for, so that's all going to happen pretty much easier anyway, and you can get there. So that's the direction, you know, the overall thing. But there's not just one thing. I say, well, you know, there's one thing he's got to do. Well, I mean, I would start with a budget, but the only reason to do a budget is to make the money behave so that it can go towards your goals, and you need to have very, very specific goals. And that's the route to go. Hey, folks, if you are a millionaire, we need to hear from you. We're doing a millionaire theme hour, and we need to hear from you. A millionaire, someone who has $1 million net worth. What you own minus what you owe is at least $1 million. We like telling millionaire stories to inspire others. If that's you, email me at daveonair@daveramsey.com. Kelly will get in touch with you. Put your phone number in the email. DaveOnAir@DaveRamsey.com if you're a millionaire.
Did you know here at KCAA 1050 AM that we developed an app for all your Android devices? We're talking about your smartphone, your tablets, you name it. You have an Android format, you can take KCAA with you everywhere you go. We're talking about our audio stream, our video stream, and even our podcast. Go to KCAAexpress.com. That's KCAAexpress.com. KCAAexpress.com.
Anything I've ever written, you've never heard me recommend more than a 15-year fixed rate mortgage. Now, why not do a 30-year mortgage? Why not? Well, Dave, I could take out a 30-year mortgage in case there's a problem, then I could reduce to the lesser amount, but I pay it like it's a 15 and pay it off in 15. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with this? That is prom dresses, transmissions, vacations, Christmas. Life happens and you never do. Oh, well, I will. No, you won't. The FDIC says that 97.3% of mortgages are not systematically prepaid. They're prepaid, some of them, but not systematically, meaning you pay your 30 like a 15. That means 2.7% of people actually do it. Don't put yourself in a position you have to be in the top 2.7% to win. Put yourself in a position where you're going to win, and that's a 15-year fixed rate. We've done detailed research. 100% of 15-year fixed rate mortgages pay off in 15 years. Hello. So you don't take out more than a 15-year mortgage ever. And it's not but this much more expensive. You would think if it went from a 30 to a 15, that if you cut the term in half, that it would double the payment. It doesn't double the payment. It's just a little bit more compared to the amount of dollars you're going to save by not having a mortgage for 15 whole years. Listen, get yourself out of debt. Get the house paid off as fast as you can. And don't figure out how long you can stay in debt. Figure out how quick you can get out of debt. It's the wrong question to say, Dave, is there a way I can cheat this and not pay extra on my mortgage and therefore get out of debt? No, pay extra. Treat it like it's a 7-year. Treat it like it's a 5-year. Treat your mortgage like it's a car loan. Get it knocked out. Get rid of it. Because when you don't have any payments, baby, you know what you got? Options. You got options to give. You got options to live like nobody else.
KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM is San Bernardino Strong.
In AgNet West today, USDA announces the availability of more than $8.8 million in competitive funding to support Hispanic-serving institutions' agricultural science education programs. The grants will enhance the ability of these colleges and universities to support underserved students and develop a skilled American workforce, according to USDA. Secretary Tom Vilsack says these fields will only become more important as we continue to develop solutions to feed more than 9 billion people by 2050. The grants are awarded through USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture and the Hispanic Serving Institution Education Grants Program. Application information is available online at nifa.usda.gov. More Ag News after this.
Tell weeds where to go with Kcaa herbicide from Valent USA Corporation. Growers and PCAs count on Kcaa because it's effective on more than 90 of the toughest winter annual broadleaf and grass weeds in crops like almonds, pistachios, walnuts, grapes, and alfalfa. Kcaa delivers proven long-lasting residual control, and Kcaa can be used on new plantings and young non-bearing trees and vines. Even better, Kcaa is weather-ready and farm-ready. Kcaa stays where you put it and doesn't photodegrade as it waits for moisture activation. Other pre-emergence herbicides can leach, co-distillate, and or photodegrade, reducing performance. And Kcaa is activated with only a 1/4 inch of rainfall or irrigation water. Take control and keep control of weeds with Kcaa herbicide. To learn more, talk to your PCA or go to valent.com/Kcaa. And while you're there, find out how Asana XL insecticide protects trees from dormant peach twig borer. Always read and follow label instructions.
The National Cattlemen's Beef Association testifies on what it calls the importance of the Trans-Pacific Partnership in front of the U.S. International Trade Commission. Kevin Kastner, National Cattlemen's Beef Association Policy Division Chair, testified before the ITC, stressing the importance of TPP for the cattle industry. I'm Sabrina Hill for AgNetWest.com.
Learn the real truth about money, how to make it work for you, and how to keep more of it on Safe Money Talk with Rick Leweg every Tuesday at 6 on KCAA.
And unfortunately, it was because of his mother was taking care of all of the finances and managing everything, and she became very ill and actually passed away a couple of months ago. And he has no recollection of any of the bills going on, and very disorganized family. So it shocked him to see that this letter and that his only source of income was going to be garnished. So we are trying to help him out. We do feel morally responsible because they did take out this loan to help my husband go to college, that we should help them out. But I've been listening to you for a while, and I know that since this loan had gone to collection agency, that I could negotiate and, talk them through. But I also just want to know the federal Department of Agency, like that kind of scares me. And I don't know if that's like the typical, type of credit. It's not like it's a credit card, and I'm trying to figure out what I can get away with. What can I negotiate? Can they really take his wages and take money out of his security check, or are they just bluffing? And that's, I guess, my question today.
Last question first. Yes, they can, and yes, they will, and yes, they're going to this month. That's why they sent the letter. And it's not anything scary. They're just going to take his money, which is just sad. So what's the balance? What's the balance on the Parent Plus loan?
So the principal balance was $12,500, and I called them, and they were like, "Yeah, with the fees and interest, it's going to be $17,500." So I was like, "All right, well, And then they were like, "But we can compromise if you were to pay this all in one lump sum in 90 days. The new balance would be $13,500." And I'm trying to think, like, are they?
No, that's exactly right.
Or?
That's exactly right. Here's the deal. The federally insured student loans are federally insured for the principal, the $12,000, and the interest, which is probably about $1,500 here. Okay, yeah. That sounds about right. It sounds like it's been 2 years since they paid anything, so it's about 2 years of accrued interest. Those two items are not negotiable because the federal government's going to pay them, so there's no reason for the bank or the lender to take the hit on those. Really? The part that is negotiable is the late fees and the collections fees, and it sounds like they're basically waiving those mathematically. Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to take care of this, the way to do it is just go borrow the go borrow the $13,000 and pay them.
Okay, and that was our suggestion, or that's what we were thinking. Now, to pay them off, which is I think the best way for us to do this, is do we just take out a personal loan? Do we take out a line of credit, or what is that normally what we do?
In a sense, what we're saying is technically this is not your loan, but you're assuming responsibility for it. So you have one kind of debt, and all we're doing is transferring it to another kind of debt. And so what I do is just get a personal line of credit. I'm guessing you don't have the 13.
Well, we were thinking, we have 90 days to send them, a check. And I was like, okay, we could get 60 days. We could maybe save about 5. And then maybe get a smaller loan. That's what our plan was. We were trying to think. Yeah,
exactly. And just go to the credit union, get a little personal line of credit, and then pay it off as fast as you possibly can, working your debt snowball with everything else, right? But, and that just gets it completely off of him.
Yeah, now, and that's what we want to do.
What I would do as a part of this, though, is your husband. This is his dad, right?
Yes.
He needs to sit down with Dad and go, Dad, you have got to get your crap together. I'm going to take care of this one, but I can't take care of the next one. And there's another stuff. There's going to be other stuff out there because you're not paying attention. You're driving down the road without your hands on the wheel, honey. And I'll walk with you. I'll help you go through the boxes. But let's get this organized. Let's get you on a plan. You're a grown up. Come on, Dad.
Right.
How old is Dad?
And Dad's like 52, and it's really unfortunate. I know. It's so sad because when we talk to him, because we tried to talk to him before, we've taken financial peace. We absolutely, in Dave we trust, pretty much. So, when we talk to him about this stuff, he's like, I'm in so far debt. He's filed bankruptcy before, and he's just like, this is his way of life.
Listen, Dad, if you want me to get this off of you, I require that you get your crap together. That's my conversation with him. And that's not because I care about the money. It's because I want him to get his act together if I'm your husband.
Yeah.
And so use this as leverage. Dad, I'm going to pay you $13,000 to get your crap together. You're going to financial peace, and you're going to manage your stuff, and I'm going to help you. I'll coach you. I'll walk with you. But we're going to get a game plan here, and we're going to get this mess cleaned up, Dad. And I'll take care of this 13, but if I'm going to, then you have to commit to do the other. And I would use it as leverage on him just for his own good.
Oh, it would help him. And the thing is, unfortunately, I think he's depressed a little bit because, his partner just passed away,
Well, he's also depressed because he's out of control and he feels like the world's caving in on him. And the reason is he's out of control and the world's caving in on him. The weird thing about depression is when you start doing something about your situation, it activates the endorphins and the proteins in your body, and it actually affects depression. It's not a panacea. It doesn't just fix everything. But when you exercise and you take action in your life, it affects positively the symptoms of depression. Makes them, either go away or at least are diminished. And so tons of studies showing that. So anytime you can get someone who's grieving to engage in something, again, it's good for them, and bless his heart, it sounds like he needs your husband to come alongside him and, put an arm around his shoulder, but also pop him in the back of the head. And Dad, you got I'm holding a $13,000 knife to your throat. You're going to do this. It's the only way we're going to do this is if you do your part to get yourself back together. And that's what you got to do here. Carol Lee is with him. Carol Lee's in Idaho. Hi, Carol Lee. How are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
So my husband was a school teacher, and we were investing in the state retirement savings plan they have. And he's no longer teaching, he's no longer working for the state, so we want to roll that into something private.
Good.
And I'm thinking a Roth, right?
Yeah.
But the guy I've been talking to said that we're going to have to pay tax on that.
Yep.
As we invest it, is that correct?
Yeah, if you roll an IRA, a regular IRA, or a retirement plan into a Roth, it becomes taxable. Now, you can roll it to a regular IRA, and I would do that at a minimum, and just get it into some good mutual funds. And then later on, if you have the money to pay the taxes, then roll it to a Roth.
Okay, so the taxes, that would have to come out of my pocket. It wouldn't come out of a retirement.
That's the only way I would do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. If you can't pay it out of your pocket, it makes no benefit. If you just reduce the account by the amount of the taxes, there's no benefit mathematically to doing the Roth. You're better off to just do a regular IRA. So just go to one of our endorsed local providers at DaveRamsey.com for investing. They can help you do it. Just roll it over to a good IRA. And then when you have the money, extra money, and you're out of debt and everything's going really, really good, and you want to do some more investing, then one way to do that is to convert that traditional IRA to a Roth and let it become taxable, pay the taxes out of your pocket. It has the same mathematical effect of additional investing.
Listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
Here's the latest. I'm Doug Parrish. The U.S. Supreme Court announced today it will be taking up President Obama's executive actions on immigration. And the White House doesn't seem to be worried.
We've got a lot of confidence in the legal arguments that we'll be making before the court.
White House spokesman Josh Earnest there. The justices will be looking at the dispute that centers on President Obama's executive action back in 2014, which bypassed the Republican-led Congress. A ruling in the case could come this June. 2 women were killed after a Greyhound bus they were in overturned on a highway in San Jose, California. The crash this morning on Highway 101 injured at least 18 others. The police are still trying to figure out what caused the bus driver to lose control. Musicians and fans alike are still reacting to the death of Eagles founder Glenn Frey. Many are taking to social media today, including country singer Brad Paisley, who said Frey paved the way for so many others. You're listening to the latest from 24/7 News. Twitter is back up and running after a major outage this morning. Many users trying to check their feed were welcomed with messages saying something is technically wrong, while those who were able to log on weren't able to see the content they normally would have. Twitter blamed the problem on an internal code change that has since been fixed. Forecasters say the bitter cold gripping the nation's midsection will soon bring misery to millions more. A massive winter storm could dump over a foot of snow on the Northeast this weekend. Officials are already warning of the possibility for road and school closures, flight cancellations, and power outages. A new projection has the federal budget deficit rising to $544 billion this year. It was $439 billion last year. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says the rise is the result of those permanent tax breaks that lawmakers approved late last year. The deficit hike follows 6 years of declines. I'm Doug Parrish.
This is KCAA.
Out and about in Western agriculture. Early detection for Huanglongbing infected trees is possible, but the methods aren't 100% accurate. More after this.
Your nut and stone fruit trees have worked hard for you all season long, and now they're ready to sit back, relax, and enjoy a little downtime. Don't let peach twig borer ruin that rest. Asana XL insecticide, now available from Valent USA Corporation, protects your trees from peach twig borer during dormancy and delayed dormancy, preparing them for the next season. Asana is formulated with a unique cottonseed oil that's rain-fast and has excellent UV stability, even under intense sunlight. That means Asana lasts longer for outstanding extended control, rain or shine. Give your trees the break they deserve from peach twig borer with a dormant or delayed dormant application of Asana. To learn more, talk to your PCA or go to valent.com/Asana. And while you're there, find out how Retained Plant Growth Regulator helps with fruit and nut set during cherry and walnut bloom. Asana XL is a restricted use pesticide. Always read and follow label instructions.
UC Davis Associate Professor of Plant Pathology Neil McRoberts says early detection methods for HLB could make a grower pull an uninfected tree by showing a false positive. He says they're working with growers to see what an acceptable window of accuracy would be to use more of these tests in the field.
That's one of the things that we're really trying to work through with the growers at the moment is what's the level of false positives that they think they're willing to bear economically. And then that gives us an idea of how faulty or how leaky those early detection technologies can afford to be and still be useful. Trying to work on that false positive rate. There's no point in trying to get it down to zero. It'll never get there anyway. So the question then is how many healthy trees are you prepared to take out in the belief that they're infected in order to make sure that you catch all the ones that really are infected. And those are the two things that you're really balancing off.
I'm Taylor Hillman for AgnetWest.com.
Hi, it's Dave Collins in Snow Country. It's a great feeling when you go out to any mountain and have any single trail that you want to choose from, and that's what we're seeing at most of our mountains. Terrain for all abilities and stashes of fresh powder left over at most of the mountains. Mountain High right now with 44 runs. That's 75% of the terrain that's open for you. Snow Summit with over 2 dozen trails. They're skiing at 100%. Also Bear Mountain with 2 dozen trails. They're at 100% as well on a packed powder surface. Almost 2 feet of snowfall in the past 4 or 5 days at Mammoth Mountain. They've got 100% of their terrain open for you. That's 3,500 acres for you to explore and 9 terrain parks to shred down. Also Sunrise Park in Arizona up to 65 trails as they ski at 100%. Almost 100 trails available for you at Cresta Butte in Colorado as they picked up some fresh powder over the past few days. Ski Apache in New Mexico over 50 runs. Over 100 trails at Sun Valley in Idaho with 7 inches of snowfall over the past 4 days. China Peak with over a foot in the past 5 days. They're at almost 100%. I'm Dave Collins on KCAA 1050 AM and the all-new 106.5 FM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Tom Ladd. For this afternoon, chance of showers after 4 p.m. It'll be cloudy. Expect a high near 65. Slight chance of showers before 10 p.m. tonight. Then patchy drizzle after 10. Patchy fog after 10 p.m. Otherwise mostly cloudy. Expect a low of 48. And patchy drizzle and fog before 10 a.m. Wednesday. It'll be sunny. Expect a high near 67. That's your weather forecast for this hour from KCAA 106.5 FM and 1050 AM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you are here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jared is with us in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hi, Jared. How are you?
Hey, Dave. I'm doing great. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, I'm getting married in July.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And my fiance and I've taken financial peace, but she hasn't, so she's going to take it with me again here in February, and we're both reading the Total Money Makeover.
Good.
And the other day, she mentioned to me that her parents thought it might be a good idea for us to get a credit card once we get married to build up credit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I really don't know about that. I said, I want to call and ask Dave what he thinks. And she also mentioned along that they thought it would be another good idea to get credit so that when we buy a house, it'll be good credit for getting a mortgage. And I said, I thought I heard that you don't need credit to really get a mortgage loan.
Right. You don't. You can have absolutely no credit and have a good down payment and 2 years solid on your job. And then you can do what's called manual underwriting, which is a mortgage company that actually does detailed mortgage, and they're not just issuing you the mortgage based on one number, meaning your credit score. So, yes, you're a prime candidate for that, having never borrowed money in your life. It's mythology that you have to build your credit in order to buy a mortgage, in order to get a mortgage.
Right.
So, and of course, you know, you've been through Financial Peace University. You know I'm not going to tell you to get a credit card.
Right, yeah, and that's what I figured. I just wanted to call you and hear you say it that way, so
yeah,
she could listen and hear it.
So what I would just tell her is, no, as of right now, we're not going to do this, but let's do this, honey. Let's go through the Financial Peace University together, and let's read this book together, okay? Which, by the way, Total Money Makeover and Financial Peace University will tell you the same thing again, and tell her the same thing again that I just told you. And then, and then what the two of you will get to do after that is you'll get the opportunity to have respectful and kind boundaries with both of your parents, meaning that you're going to be grown-ups and make your own decisions.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, and so, and hopefully her parents are just, they're just kind of making kind suggestions. They're not trying to be controlling.
Right, yeah, and that's what her parents are wonderful, and I figured they're just trying to...
Yeah, they're just trying to help, and they don't know. I mean, maybe you could, just say, tell the father-in-law as the two of you are going through it, say, we went through this class, and we found out we can get a mortgage without having to go into debt, and we want to stay out of debt, and I'm sure you're going to be happy that I'm not going to let your daughter get into debt.
Right.
And he'll just smile.
Okay.
But you got to kind of build the case, and that's getting her through the class too, and then, letting them know that you actually have a plan and that there's some knowledge behind all of this. It's just not your naivete due to your age or something. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks for the call. Chase is with us in Charlotte. Hey, Chase, how are you?
I'm doing nervous, Mr. Ramsey. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Well, I'm trying to get I've just been reading through some of your material, and I'm trying to get my snowball going. My biggest concern is that, I can't even get my emergency fund built up. I don't make very much, and I have about $7,500 in debt. My car keeps breaking down. My parents are trying to tell me to take out a loan to get a new vehicle, which I do not want to do.
You can't afford it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So I just don't know what to do. I'm at a loss right now.
Okay. How much do you make, Chase?
I make about $8,000 to $1,000 a month.
Okay. Working 40 hours?
No, I work part-time and I go to school, take 18 credits. I'm taking 18 credits right now, so I'm in school more than full-time.
How are you paying for school?
Scholarships, government funds, military.
Good for you. Okay. And military, you're...
National Guard, Army.
Okay, so that's not a stipend then. Your monthly income's not a stipend. That's you working a little bit.
Yes. I also have tuition assistance. I don't have the GI Bill. That is...
Right.
I'm not getting that.
Okay. All right. And when will you graduate?
Well, I'm looking to graduate this. It wouldn't be till after the summer semester. That's another thing. I have a seeking fund for summer school because otherwise I wouldn't be able to graduate. Then I will transfer over to a four-year university, and I won't graduate for another 2 years from there. And then, of course, I was planning on going on and getting my master's.
Okay. Well, what you've got, as you said, and you outlined it perfectly, is you've just got an income problem.
Exactly.
And so you've got to do something, because this is a long haul you're on, and you're not going to make it at $1,000 a month. So we've got to do something to get your income up, because you've got basically 3 years left, give or take, depending on what you study and so forth.
Yeah, but I don't know what to do. I am willing to work, but I don't know. I want to work efficiently. I don't want to work for minimum wage, and I can't afford it.
Well, there's two things you can do. One is you don't want to work minimum wage. You're right; it doesn't work. It's not going to earn you enough to answer this issue, and so you've got to do something that's more creative than that. And it might be it might be something like literally delivering pizzas. 4 or 5 nights a week. You can make $1,500 a month in most cities doing that. Or another idea is some self-employed things, and coming up with something that's self-employed that you can just go do when you have time, but that pays a whole lot more. I mean, and that can be anything you can dream up. I don't care what it is. I had a kid a few years back knock on our front door, and a young guy, and he was in college, and he had a pressure washer in tow, and he wanted to pressure wash our driveway. And I'm like, well, I don't really need my drive. He goes, well, I'm doing this to pay my way through school. And I went, okay, how much do you want? And I did it just to support him, and he did a good job on the driveway too. It did need washing after all, so that old aggregate stuff. He pressure washed it, and all he did was buy him a little pressure washer down at Home Depot or something and do that. Now I'm not saying that's the answer exactly, but my point is he made a lot more than minimum wage per hour doing that driveway, right?
Yeah,
they probably made $20 an hour actually, or more, So you just got to kind of figure out something like that. I don't know whether it's a little lawn business or what. I don't know. Maybe you've got some skills with computers, and you can help people fix computers or set up websites, or I don't know. But usually some kind of a small business idea, even if it's something fairly primitive, it doesn't matter. All I'm trying to do is get you to $20 an hour instead of $7 an hour, right?
Yeah.
But that's usually going to involve, it can be babysitting, it can be dog walking, I don't care. But something like that's, how old are you?
27.
Okay. I mean, I'll tell you this. You need to think about something that's a hobby of yours, a passion of yours, maybe even something you're studying to be. And you can probably come up with a very easy, simple, part-time job idea out of that. And you'll come up with something. Maybe you'll find something that you can buy at deals and resell it on eBay. There's all kinds of, ideas like that'll work. And so that's what you're looking for, Chase. Something along those lines that generates some quick, easy money, and detailing cars. I don't know. I'm making this up as I'm talking to you, but you decide something you've done in the past, something that was a hobby, something you care about in your future. That'll give you some ideas on something that turns into a great part-time job that is a small business idea. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM is San Bernardino Strong.
What have I learned so far? I've learned that there is no one path that's right for everyone. I've learned that without my high school diploma, I can only do so much. My options were limited. I found a free personalized learning program with Learn for Life that is a flexible schedule so I could keep my job while earning my high school diploma. I found new career training opportunities that would jumpstart my future. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I can change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN, the number 4, LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM are pleased to announce the brand new edition of The Stephanie Miller Show, right here weekdays, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's The Stephanie Miller Show.
Join Stephanie every weekday for her fun humor and snappy wit. The perfect antidote to cantankerous, grumpy old conservatives. Stephanie Miller makes weekdays fun at 4 p.m. right here on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
Inland Body and Pain Center wants you to know that human trafficking is real. Hundreds of people, male and female, some as young as 10, are trapped, enslaved by people who have taken advantage of them. Some are immigrants, some are runaways, all are victims. This tragedy has been in the shadows far too long. If you suspect modern-day slavery is happening here in the Inland Empire, do not turn away. Contact the District Attorney's Office now. This important message is brought to you by Inland Body and Paint in Fontana.
Tired of spending too much money on an ad and then trying to find your ad in the newspaper, buried among hundreds, even thousands of other ads? Isn't it time you got a great deal when you were trying to sell that car, that dining room set, that refrigerator, or offering your handyman services? Now you can in the Nickel Shopper. For as little as $7.50 per week, your ad can be seen by thousands of eyeballs in the high desert, and they're getting the Nickel Shopper for free. Call today to place your ad in the Nickel Shopper, 760-646-3654, or go to thenickelshopper.com for all the details, 760-646-3654. The Nickel Shopper. Now in the IE.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan inviting you to talk sports with the Open Season Crew Thursdays at 3 o'clock right here on KCAA.
The sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand. And take it easy. Well, I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona, and such a fine sight to see. Girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. Come on, babe.
If you haven't heard, there's an explosion in Texas. His name is Chris Hogan. Yep, he has. We dropped our own Ramsey Solutions smart bomb, known as Chris Hogan, and his book Retire Inspired, right in the middle of Texas, and things are happening everywhere. Chris is on the line in the middle of his book tour. In all seriousness, hey Chris, how's it going?
Doing fantastic, Dave. We just wrapped up an incredible book signing in Katy at Books A Million and had a great turnout, about 125 people, and we had a blast.
Right there in Houston, Texas. And last night was, Dallas?
Yes, sir. Yes, we're making the rounds in Texas.
Okay. And each of those, somebody won $2,000?
Yes, sir. And today, Dave, it was incredible. A gentleman named Felix won the $2,000 from Xander Insurance, and he had just recently been laid off. And so that $2,000 is going to help him with his emergency fund and help get him back up on his feet. It was a great time.
Man, that's cool. I love how God just takes care of that. That's fun.
Yes, it was.
Very fun. Now, you guys got a big Retire Inspired event tonight there in Houston, don't you?
Yes, sir. We're going to be at the Woodlands Church doing the Retire Inspired event, and I'm so excited to get there. A lot of the people here that were at the book signing are going to be at the event, and we're going to have fun, Dave. We're going to spend some time unpacking this content, giving people the opportunity to walk out of there with a plan so they can go work hard on their retirement so they can retire inspired.
There you go. Very cool. I'm going to have about 1,000 folks there tonight. If you guys are in the Houston area and like to go to Retire Inspired event tonight, join 1,000 of your closest friends with Chris Hogan. There are still some tickets available. You can go to DaveRamsey.com and get those tickets. And so the book tour is well underway. Chris is running around all over America doing this stuff. Now, where are you guys tomorrow?
Tonight, Dave, after we get done with the Retire Inspired event in the Woodlands, we're going to hop on the bus. It's got my face on the side of that thing, and we're going to drive to San Antonio, Texas, and go down there and hang out, do some media, book signings, and then meet up with some ELPs.
Very cool. That's going to be great. Yeah, tomorrow night in San Antonio, Texas, Barnes & Noble, right there on La Cantera Parkway, is the one. And it's at 6 o'clock is the book signing for the Retire Inspired book with Chris Hogan. And again, as in each of these book signings, Xander Insurance has sponsored a $2,000 cash giveaway. Must be present to win. No purchase is necessary. So if you've already got your book, take it down to wherever you hear us saying Chris is going to be. He'll be happy to sign it wherever he is. We're not that hard to get along with, and there's no purchase necessary. You drop your name in the box when we're doing these giveaways, and we want you to be part of the thing and come out and just be part of these parties. It's getting people thinking about their retirement in the right way, isn't it, Chris?
Yes, sir, it is. People are waking up to it, Dave. And what I love is at the book signing, I'm seeing people that are 18, 19, 20, but I'm also seeing people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, even 70s. People that are saying this information has helped them, that they got a few tips out of there and some good guidance. One lady came up and gave me a hug, and she said, I was ready to give up. She said, but you inspired me. And that's what it's all about, Dave, giving people the opportunity to have hope, not to give up, but to get up and keep working.
Man, you're on fire. This is cool. Very well done. So here we go. San Antonio, Texas, Barnes & Noble, tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Houston, Texas, tonight at the Woodlands, the Retire Inspired event. And you can still sign up for that at DaveRamsey.com. I imagine you can probably walk up and buy a ticket if you came over there, too. That'll probably work out. And then on Thursday, Austin, Texas, Chris will be signing books at 12 noon at the Barnes & Noble there at Research Boulevard. And again, $2,000 given away, and I'll be joining him there in Austin for a Smart Money event that is basically sold out. We've oversold it a little bit. You can still probably squeeze in a ticket or two between now and then, but it's a sellout in Austin, Texas on Thursday night, and so we'd love to have you there. If you have tickets to that, plan on getting there early. Again, this thing is sold up to the max, and it's going to be thousands and thousands of people there. Be sure you get there early, and Chris and I are excited to get to do that event. And then when that event's over, we're going to hop on the plane and fly over, and he'll be in Phoenix, Arizona on Friday. Does that sound right?
Yes, sir. You're dead on, Dave. That is the schedule. And I just want to encourage people to keep coming out. Come out and meet me. Tell me your story. We're all in this thing together.
There you go. Come out, and Chris can give you some advice there. If I have time at the book signing, he usually is able to do a Q&A as well, and so there's been some real good interaction there, and the crowds have been, 100, 200, 300 people at these things, so it's about the right size. It's not overwhelming, but it's not nobody showing up and Chris there by himself either. So it's a good thing, man. You guys are doing a great job on this tour. Is Preston holding up?
Preston's holding up. Elizabeth is holding up. Margaret's holding up. The team's doing a great job, Dave.
Very cool. Good job. All right. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you on Thursday. And, folks, again, Houston, Texas tonight, Smart Money event. San Antonio, Texas tomorrow at 6 p.m. for a book signing. Barnes & Noble, La Cantera. Austin, Texas, Barnes & Noble at noon. Research Boulevard on Thursday. Thursday evening Smart Money event with me and Chris. And the tickets to Retire Inspired or the Smart Money event at DaveRamsey.com. Be careful out there, Chris. Get some rest.
Yes, sir. We'll see you soon.
God bless. All right. Very cool stuff. We're so excited for him. This guy is on fire. Absolutely on fire. Learning the steps you need to take, the things you need to do to become retired, maybe sooner than you ever dreamed. Retire Inspired. It's not an age. It's a financial number. You can get the book anywhere great books are sold, including DaveRamsey.com. Haley is with us in West Palm Beach. Hi, Haley. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call. I'm a huge fan.
Well, I'm honored. How can I help?
I am getting laid off from my job at the end of the month, and I have about $180,000 in my 401k that I won't be able to roll over to a new job because I'm taking 2 part-time jobs for now.
Okay.
I read on your website that you should always roll it over into an IRA. Now, my company's willing to keep the money, they say. They say I don't need to roll it over.
Oh, you need to roll it over.
Okay, that's what I got from the website. My question is, Bank of America wants me to roll it over to them. Is that a good idea, or what should I be looking for?
No, I don't do anything with Bank of America, ever.
Okay.
Okay. What I invest IRAs in myself, and what I recommend is the same thing I do personally, is that you put money in good growth stock mutual funds. I suggest you spread it across 4 types equally, a fourth in each: growth and income, aggressive growth, and international, and all mutual funds that have a long track record of 10 years or more. And in order to help you do that, if you want somebody to guide you through it, not do it for you. I want you to understand what you're doing, okay? Don't do it because I said do it, and don't do it because someone else said do it. You need to get in there and be taught and grasp what you're putting it in. But I would roll it to an IRA in 4 types of mutual funds. And just go to DaveRamsey.com, click on ELP for endorsed local provider, and that means there's a mutual fund person there in your area that you can sit down with and that will teach you what to do, and then once you understand it, they'll do it for you. But they won't. I don't endorse anybody that doesn't have the heart of a teacher, because it's Haley's job to manage Haley's money, okay?
Okay.
But that's what I would... That's exactly what I would do with it, is I would do what's called a direct transfer rollover into some mutual funds with a traditional IRA. And just go to DaveRamsey.com and click on ELP for endorsed local provider, and that'll help you do that. There's a lot of people out there running their mouth these days about what's called passive investing and dropping all of your money into index funds. And I'd rather you do that than put it in a bank account. But you can beat index funds. They're not that hard to beat. There's a lot of mutual funds don't beat them, but the index S&P 500 is the index that mirrors the market. I mean, the 4 mutual funds I personally have in my 401k over the last 10 years and over the last 20 years have beat the market, beat the S&P by more than 1% net of fees. So you can do it. You can do it. Not that hard, folks. That puts this particular hour of the Dave Ramsey Show in the books.
Tell weeds where to go with Kcaa herbicide from Valent USA Corporation. Growers and PCAs count on Kcaa because it's effective on more than 90 of the toughest winter annual broadleaf and grass weeds in crops like almonds, pistachios, walnuts, grapes, and alfalfa. Kcaa delivers proven long-lasting residual control, and Kcaa can be used on new plantings and young non-bearing trees and vines. Even better, Kcaa is weather ready and farm ready. Kcaa stays where you put it and doesn't photodegrade as it waits for moisture activation. Other pre-emergence herbicides can leach, co-distillate, and or photodegrade, reducing performance. And Kcaa is activated with only a 1/4 inch of rainfall or irrigation water. Take control and keep control of weeds with Kcaa herbicide. To learn more, talk to your PCA or go to valent.com/Kcaa. And while you're there, find out how Asana XL insecticide protects trees from dormant peach twig borer. Always read and follow label instructions.
This is KCAA Loma Linda. CNBC News is next. Brought to you by BuySellMakeOffer.com. Go there now and join the thousands who have already signed up for a new and exciting way to buy and sell online, launching January 15th.
John Lesher, CNBC Radio. The price of oil is dragging stocks lower this afternoon. The Dow is down 39 points, the Nasdaq lower by 37. Crude closed at $28.46 a barrel, down 96 cents and more than 3%. Banking stocks led gains as the market tried to recover from a steep sell-off last week. Morgan Stanley was up 2% after reporting results that were better than analysts had been expecting. Delta Airlines added 4% after its own earnings beat forecasts, thanks in part to cheaper fuel costs. But Tiffany fell 5% after reporting a 9% decline in holiday jewelry sales. U.S. home builders are forecasting modest growth this year, but the International Monetary Fund is cutting its forecast for global and U.S. economic growth to 3.4%, citing weakness in the developing world. And some Twitter users are keeping their tweets to themselves after outages knocked the social media site offline in parts of the U.S. and Europe. John Lesher, CNBC Radio.
A promise was made.
Hey guys,
a promise
Pat Matthews here to tell you about the newest and best way to sell products online. BuySellMakeOffer.com. An enormously revolutionary way to sell your stuff online.
The desert in
it's
Iraq,
time to clean out the
an
garage,
IOU
your
that
old golf
braved
clubs, sports
IEDs
equipment,
in
tools,
Kcaa.
and yes,
A
even your
promise
car.
was made
Forget
to
about the way the other
America's
guys
veterans.
are taking more than their share
DAV
from you
fights to
when
keep
the sales
that
were
promise,
finalized.
so all
Look,
veterans and
it's
their
happening
families get the
over and
benefits
over
and
and
support
over.
they
When I found
earn. For help, visit
BuySellMakeOffer.com. They will never charge you item fees.
Being a
Just go
genius
there
would
right
really
now
cut
to
it
sign up
handy.
and load all your stuff to our
Karen,
server to sell.
final
This is
question.
not an auction
You'll either
site.
walk out of
Sell
here
your car,
with $1
sell your
million
home. Realtor,
or
sign
nothing.
up now.
In what
Just
year
use our
did the
resources along
Hicksonian
with Skype and
astrophysical capital
videos
city
and
fourth
add
president
your
invented?
creativity
You
to
have
sell
5
your
seconds.
items quickly and with no fees. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and sign up. The excitement is building. I've signed up to sell my stuff with BuySellMakeOffer.com. You should too. BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Good afternoon. It's 1:02. I'm Di Rice with the latest in live local, national, and international news here on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. The Supreme Court will consider President Obama's plan to prevent the deportation of more than 4 million illegal immigrants. The dispute centers on Obama's executive action in 2014, which bypassed Congress and was blocked by lower courts. A ruling is expected in June. And at least 2 people are dead after a Greyhound bus overturned on a busy highway in San Jose. California Highway Patrol says at least a dozen were injured when the bus flipped onto its side on Highway 101 this morning. So far, there's no word on what caused the accident. And another pallet yard fire has been fought, the second in 4 days. Firefighters had the 2-alarm late Sunday night blaze knocked down in less than 2 hours. There were no injuries nor evacuations as flames devoured stacks of pallets 40 feet high at the facility on Boyle Avenue. The storage building was slightly damaged. Last Wednesday, a similar but larger fire struck the nearby Woodland pallet yard at Sierra Avenue at Slover. Causes for both fires are under investigation. They do believe both fires to be arson, though. Inland Empire weather, variable clouds out there with a high of 67 tomorrow afternoon, as well as this afternoon. Possibility of some rain later on in the afternoon and evening hours and into Wednesday, but nothing in the next few hours. Looking at your drive, not a lot going on out there. Moreno Valley, the off-ramp has been reopened on the 60 westbound at Kcaa. Other than that, let's see, the Redlands off-ramp has been reopened. That's at the 10 eastbound at California Street. And other than that, you are looking good. That is the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind. KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
Another tequila sunrise.
You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio. Now, live in studio, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports. Love sports. Even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events, and most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content, our sports guru, the business of sports gentleman, I use that term lightly, David Meltzer's in the house. Sports One Marketing, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Ron. Great to be here again.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. You will have to use your imagination today as we celebrate like we do every day. Today is National Popcorn Day. And I don't know. Damn! That one there just to me sounds like it's, I don't know, a little boring. Oh! That was the guy I was looking for. I knew that he was here with us somewhere. He was just sleeping. We have to wake him up once again. Speaking of wake him up, our federal government, they are at it again. National Institute of Health. You ready for this one? I gotta let David. You're our sports guru here, so I don't know if you've seen this yet. I don't want you to get into yourself in any trouble, but the National Institute of Health, obviously federal government, conducting a study through the University of California, San Diego, spends $406,875 sending text messages to Latino men, telling them to exercise.
This is ridiculous.
Can you believe that? $400,000 in text. I don't know how you spend $400,000 texting. Don't they have the unlimited account from Verizon or something? $400,000 to send text messages telling Latino men to exercise. You know, to me, give me that 4-ounce wine glass curl and I'm happy, but that's our federal government spending your money and mine. Now, I wonder if they're going to send the same, maybe they sent